Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are continuing with our grief theme, and today we are going over crystals that you can use in grief. And I know I touched on this on the first video, which will appear somewhere here, but I do want to touch on this again, and it is the fact that grief is not only connected to death and loss. So it's not just the death of a loved one or a beloved pet, it covers a whole scope of things that we just don't touch on or we don't realize. So it could be the loss of a home, whether you've moved out, you've been evicted, or you've lost it from natural disasters. It's that loss of safety, it's that loss of the thing to call your own. Another one could be the ending of a relationship, whether it's through a breakup, a divorce, or just someone having faded away and the relation itself has just dissolved and it has come to its natural end. That has to be mourned as well. Sometimes cutting ties because you're forced to also needs to be addressed because you are losing someone in your life. This person was there and now they're not, by choice or by circumstance. And that also needs to be processed because that is an ending. Grief is a type of ending. And that is what we are mourning. It could be also the loss of a job, whether it's through retirement. Maybe you've been laid off, you've been fired, or really you've just transitioned peacefully from one job to the next but it's still an ending. It's still something that is now there. It is a new chapter. It's an ending of one and the start of another. And that needs to be processed as well, even if it's a good thing. Like sometimes relationships ending are a good thing, changing jobs are a good thing. But we do have to acknowledge the fact that it is still an ending, and the soul kind of needs to take time to kind of be like, oh, I'm not going to see those people anymore. Oh, I'm not going to interact with these people anymore, or this situation anymore, or this building anymore. I'm not going to be in this area anymore. For good or for ill, it is something that is still worth mourning. Um, it could be something like a change in the role you play in life. So it could be something like empty nest syndrome, where your children are now out of the home and you're not going to be playing as crucial a role, or you still do, but it's not an everyday thing as they would if they were living with you. Now you have all this free time or space, and it's a matter of figuring out, who am I now that I'm not constantly mom and dad? I'm me. What do I do with myself? It could be regret, a type of regret. Maybe never having children, maybe never having pursued a career, gone to college, just never having pursued a specific dream. Whatever it could be, there might be regret and grief around never having done or had or experienced something. So that's just kind of an overview. There are many ways in which grief kind of manifests. And you can use these crystals, there's 7 of them, either individually, work with each one on its own terms, or you can use them as a crystal grid. And if you should choose to use them in a grid, you can put them in cups, you can put them in bowls, containers, whatever's easier for you, and put them around how you see fit. If you're using them for a large group, and this could be for energy, any kind of energy workers, shamanic practitioners, if you're in grief therapy, if you're a death doula, this can kind of have a lot of far reaching uses. Even if you're counseling for addiction comes from somewhere. There's some trigger in someone's life. Maybe it was a tremendous loss, or those people are processing a certain type of grief that needs to be addressed, and maybe this can help. And you can put them however the room is set up. That's how you can set them up. You can do the 4 corners, the 4 directions. If you have a rectangular room, maybe you use 6 sets of these as opposed to 4. Maybe you use 8. Put 3 on each wall. So it will ultimately depend on what your goal is. You can ring them in a circle. If you're using them for an individual, you can maybe, if you're using like a massage table, if you're like a Reiki practitioner, you're a shamanic practitioner, you can maybe line them up down the person, next to the person, under the table, whatever you feel called to do, however you feel called to do it. I don't, would you have, depending on the size of the crystals, maybe you could have them hold them. I don't know, because you want them to relax and you don't want to cross the body. You don't care. I guess that could work too. But, and if you're using this as an individual, you can work with just the individual crystals on their own terms, like carry each one, or you can make a little set for yourself of one and then use it maybe when you pray or you meditate. If you're having a particularly rough day and you realize that you're just kind of processing, you can have a little baggie that you can carry with you to kind of help soothe whatever's going on that day and whatnot. So we're going to start with amethyst. This is the amethyst I had. So this is an extremely beneficial stone for the mind. It calms and stimulates as appropriate. In meditation, it turns thoughts away from the mundane into tranquility and deeper understanding. Mentally, amethyst helps you feel less scattered, more focused, and in control of your faculties. It enhances the assimilation of new ideas and connects cause with effect. It balances out highs and lows, promoting emotional centering. It dispels anger, rage, fear, and anxiety, alleviating sadness and grief. It supports coming to terms with loss. It is helpful for people about to make the transition through death. The next one, which is one of, I use this stone quite a lot, is malachite. This is just a beautiful stone. Show you the other side. I love malachite. So this grounds spiritual energy. A lot of these are protection stones, and malachite is one of them. When placed on the third eye, it activates visualization and psychic vision. On the heart, it brings balance and harmony, and it opens the heart to unconditional love. Psychologically, malachite is a stone of transformation. Life is lived more intensely under the influence of this adventurous stone, which encourages change. It mercilessly shows what is blocking your spiritual growth. It draws out deep feelings and pulls out worn out patterns and and shows you how to take responsibility for one's actions through thoughts and feelings. It releases past life or childhood trauma. The next one is black tourmaline. So this is an unpolished black tourmaline, and that's what that looks like. So it purifies and transforms dense energy into a lighter vibration. It grounds spiritual energy and forms a protective shield. This is another protective stone. I work with black tourmaline a lot. It's a powerful mental healer, balancing right and left hemispheres of the brain and transmute negative thought patterns into positive ones. It assists in understanding oneself and others, taking you deep into your inner being, promoting self-confidence and diminishing fear, banishes any feelings of victimization. It grounds energy and encourages positive attitude no matter what the circumstances. And it helps to dispel tension and stress, clearing negative thoughts. And then, so we have black tourmaline. We also have Apache Tear. You can use both of these if you feel so inclined. You can use one or the other. And this is what Apache Tear looks like. That's trying to get all around. And this is no need to cry anymore. The Apache women have cried for you, and the stone is their tears to protect and heal. It comforts grief, provides insight into the source of distress, and relieves long-held grievances. This will also protect the aura. Now we have rose quartz. I'm sure a lot of you know what rose quartz is. This is a very gentle stone. It's a very common stone for self-love. And it heals the heart and the heart chakra. It is a stone of unconditional love and infinite peace. It is calming and reassuring and excellent for use in trauma and crisis. It aids in acceptance of necessary change. And if you have loved and lost, It comforts your grief. Now, the next one is specifically green fluorite. So this is what green fluorite is. And this draws off negative energies and stress of all kinds. It helps understand the effect of the mind and emotions on the body. It dissipates emotional trauma, and it brings information up from the subconscious mind and access that information. The last one is Amazonite. So it's a very light, like blue green. It kind of looks like turquoise on the camera, but there's a lot of white in it. It's not turquoise. It's a different stone. It's known as Amazonite. And it is a soothing stone. It calms the brain and nervous system and aligns the physical body with the etheric body. At an emotional level, it soothes emotional trauma, alleviating worry and fear. It dispels negativity and dispels negativity and energy and aggravation. So basically, it kind of helps you to get rid of all that extra energy you're carrying around. It heals and opens both the heart and throat chakra to enhance loving communication. It opens the third eye chakra and intuition and dispels negative energy and blockages within the nervous system. So those are the 7 crystals that you can use to deal with grief, and use them however you see fit. I did not channel this information. This information came from 2 specific books from Judy Hall. I will have those in the description for you. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns. But I will see you all again very soon. I hope you're doing well, and then take care. Bye.